Hi everybody, this is Zombi and welcome to another one of my dungeon boss videos. We are back at Boss Island Savage Grove, this time with no less than 3 auto-run teams that I want you guys to see. Well, actually it's kind of one team, but with some hero options thrown in for those of you that don't have Ember. The previous videos I've done on this feature the goblins in both counts. One was a manual and one was an auto-run, but they're not particularly reliable. You can also use undead for Savage Grove, but it's incredibly slow. So I wanted to get something out there that was actually really fast and reliable, and this team is it. There are 3 videos that are going to play. The first one's going to feature Torchy, Ember, Pignius and Bovus. That's what you can see on screen right now. Then there's going to be Torchy, Furnace, Pignius and Bovus. And then finally there will be Torchy, Ember, Furnace and Pignius. So these teams came from some, lots of conversations had by the level cap guys in our line chat. They put together, one was a pure beast team, which I didn't really get along with too well because Julius kept dying all the time. Then I think Drew threw in Furnace, and finally I've sort of added Ember to the mix on this one. So that's what you're going to see now. The 2 constants in all of the 3 teams here are Torchy and Pignius. Torchy because of his crazy epic attack, which can help you clear rooms super fast if you've got a high epic. And Pignius because of his passives, including Hog Wild attack, which gives a 50% chance to get an extra attack. Including Furnace into the team gives you some great bonuses for any fire heroes you're bringing along, which I'll discuss at the end when we look at the runes and the passives of the heroes that we're using here. And be aware that Bovus could well be the weak link in your team. He tends to die quite a bit, so you really need to go for a defensive setup on him. One of the things that really makes this team work is the fact that it's so synergy heavy, particularly if you're using an all-fire team. The beasts are all giving each other various passives and benefiting from that, but also if you're including the likes of Ember and Furnace, they give some very strong passive benefits to the rest of the team if they are fire-based. Run times for these teams seems to be coming in at around 3 minutes. Quite often they come in a lot earlier depending on how good Torchy's epic is. The higher his level, the more chance he'll get to do that nuke that he does. You'll have seen already in this video how my Torchy here, who at the moment he's epic level 11, just nukes more or less all of the rooms with that epic ability of his. Bovus' epic is also pretty nice as well once that triggers off. My epic here for Bovus is only I think a level 8 or so, so he's still quite low. But it still kicks off quite nicely and does a lot of damage. The success rate for these teams are actually really high as well, so I'm getting easily over 90%, and because there are so few manual interventions required, it essentially means that these selection of teams are much better than the goblins. They are much faster and actually more successful. Trying to pick a favourite between these 3 teams is actually really tough. I quite like this fire team that you can see now because of its survivability. They take less damage from those nature heroes and the passives that they grant one another are really good. However, with that said, because Bovus is all shiny and new and I want to see his epic more, I'm kind of leaning towards the team which is Torchy, Pignius, Bovus and Ember. But give these a try and see what you actually like using. So let's take a look at some of the runes and more importantly the synergies of the heroes that we've chosen in here then. So first up let's go with Torchy. Quick look at his runes. So you'll see that I've stacked up the healing from the vampiric runes quite highly, and also I've added a defensive rune on there as well. He was dying too often without that defensive one. So if you find that your Torchy is doing the same, put a defensive one on the light or on the purple. Preferably on the light one because then you can use purple for attack or a vampiric. For stats wise we're looking at that, so fairly high attack, decent critical on him there. His epic is quite high. I still need to get some work done there to get it to level 12, but you saw it proccing quite often there, so that's pretty useful. As for his, where are we? As for his abilities that have any kind of synergy, is this one Beast Leader 3. So for any other beasts in the team, they'll get an increased attack of an unknown quantity. Not sure what that is, so not too bad, but not the strongest synergy. Next one, Bovus. So again, with the healing there, you need someone there. It does regenerate every round, but if you've not got Ember along for the ride, then try and put something on him like a vampiric to try and get that health back as he gets damaged. So another a defensive rune on there as well, because he was dying too often. I didn't like how much he was dying, so I've put that on there. And then I've also got that on there. For this rune, I'd actually go for a power rune if you don't have anything as good as this. This is a pretty much perfect greater precision rune with a huge amount of attack on it. If I didn't have this, and also life steal, so it's kind of a vampiric. If I didn't have this, I'd have gone for a power rune. His stats, there we go. Quick look at those. His synergies is only for, where is it, for other warriors. So that doesn't count for anyone on this team. So it's quite useless synergies wise. Epic, he's only at level 8, but still it procs nice. And when it does proc, it actually seems pretty good. It does a lot of damage with it. So that's why he's in the team. If he didn't have this epic weapon, Bovus wouldn't feature in this team whatsoever. And it would literally just be the fire heroes that you saw. For the next, we've got Pumpkin Furnace. So here is the hero that gives a lot of synergies, which we'll take a look at in a minute. So my runes on here are pretty stacked up for attack. I use Furnace on in PvP, so he's kind of got some of my really good stuff there, as you can see. And in the videos, you'll saw him doing a lot of damage, taking out heroes with criticals. So he's pretty good, taking out the defenders with criticals. So he's pretty good. He's pretty well stacked up there. So you want to go for something more of an attack stance rather than defensive if you're running this dungeon, because remember his ability, is it this one? No, Abs of Steel. He'll never take more than 20% of his max health in damage, so you don't really need to bother with defensive runes on him. Stats wise, we're looking at this. So he's got a whacking attack, a huge max health, which is nice. No epic ability on him. Now for the rest of his synergies, then we've got some really good ones here. So where is it? We start off with Legacy of Flame. I mean, all fire heroes getting that, I mean, that's really good. 15% attack, 15% HP, 10% defense, and 10% skill. Kind of makes you think, well, he's the mandatory choice, really. So I would recommend for any of you guys that are struggling, bring the Furnace along for those benefits and bring along your fire heroes. Dwarven Forged, that would only apply to Bovus, so not a huge amount of use. But if you're bringing Bovus along with Furnace, then there is quite a big benefit there. I'm not too sure these are particularly useful for the rest of synergies. So that's the Furnace covered. We've also got Pig. So Pig is basically key to this whole team. Again, you've got to figure out how he's going to heal himself. So he's got plenty of vampirics on there. He's also got Dwarf Slayer, as I call it, which is that bizarre rune with the damage versus goblins. And a power rune. Stats wise, we're looking at that, so nothing too special, but he's pretty tanky, seems he's a tank. Epic wise, doesn't have one. And then his synergies, so this is good for if you're bringing on along Furnace and also Torchy, the extra burn damage there. Hog Wild, really good for all those beast heroes that you bring along, so they get an extra attack with a 50% chance of getting that, really good. Burning Touch, not too bothered about that one, and then some extra damage done during criticals. Next and last we have Ember. So I know a lot of you guys out there might not actually have Ember, certainly might not have her up as 6-star because she's quite a grind to get. I use her a lot in PvP, so again she's pretty well runed up with stuff. As you can see, she's got a fair bit of attack on there. 1 defensive rune, 1 vampiric. Whether that vampiric's needed or not is debatable. I could probably switch that out, but she's got it for now. And the reason why she doesn't need it, and the reason why I like to bring her along, is because of this Master Healer. So every round, everyone gets 2.5 extra life based on their maximum health every turn. However, if they're a fire hero, that gets tripled. So you're looking at 7.5%, which is really good. So you'll have seen Pignius in those videos healing up really rapidly, along with Torchy as well, even though they've been poisoned. It kind of negates the poison effect. So if you have got Ember, strong choice to bring along there. And for the rest, I don't think particularly useful. So hopefully then, guys, that kind of covers things for you there. I think my favourite team is the one that brings Bovus along, just because I like seeing his epic attack. If I didn't have that epic attack on Bovus, or if it was quite low, I'd definitely go for a pure fire composition. That's all for now, guys. Please do leave comments, questions or suggestions in the comments section below. I'll always try to answer. Remember to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more Dungeon Boss videos, or search Zombie Dungeon Boss in Google or YouTube for more. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.